Hello everyone, this is Professor André Richelieu. 36 years later, after its first appearance in Mexico, Canada will take part in a Football World Cup. I can barely believe it. Can you? Well, first of all, my congratulations to John Herdman, his staff, and the players for this historic qualification. This performance brings back fond memories to me. I can still remember the pride I felt when Team Canada lined up for the national anthem prior to their match against France, the reigning European champions, on June the 1st, 1986 in Léon. This participation followed a solid performance at the 1984 Olympics, where Canada defeated Cameroon, the African champions at the time, before falling short against Brazil in the quarterfinals on penalty kicks. Yet, let me say, objectively, of course, that Canada should have won that game had the referee not wrongfully disallowed a Jerry Gray's goal. Actually, this is such an exciting time that I had to find my vintage 1980s Team Canada shirt. Who knows? There might be a re-edition of this beautiful shirt now that Canada is back on the football world stage. That being said, what are Canada's chances at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar? I do not like to make predictions, especially after the last 2 years of continuous uncertainty. Let me try, nonetheless, with as much humility as possible. I believe that we can score a goal and earn a point. And as a very proud Canadian, it would be awesome to see Canada go through the first round and move on to the next stage or stages. But that will be a tall order. All three matchups will be extremely challenging. Putting ourselves in a position where the last game against Morocco will be meaningful would be wonderful. And we can always dare to dream. But a third place finish in the group appears realistically more achievable. Though I would be the first one to celebrate should we manage to qualify and do a dingy dingy dance I am sure you would love to see. More seriously, and beyond question, we have made a lot of ground in the last few years, thanks to a great coach and a golden generation, which can be compared, all things considered, with the team head coach Tony Waiters put together in 1984 and 1986. That team included the likes of Tino Lettieri, Paul Dolan, Ron Wilson, Bobby Lenarduzzi, Jan Bridge, Randy Samuel, Carl Valentine, Mike Sweeney, Dale Mitchell, Jerry Gray, Branko Segota, Igor Vrablic, and George Pecos, the latter scoring two important goals against Honduras in the last round of CONCACAF qualifications in 1985. But the fact of the matter is that we are still underdogs, and we should play this card in order to continue our progression and try to surprise our opponents in Qatar. This might displease some observers, but we are not yet a football nation. We are getting there as the process seems underway. However, we need to be patient and not get carried away. We have had our hopes dashed too many times before. In that respect, the American men's national team is a good example of the road traveled so far and how long it took them to gain respectability and be competitive on a consistent basis. Today, on one game, I believe they are able to beat any team. But remember how they started? In modern times, they qualified for the World Cup in Italy in 1990 after defeating Trinidad and Tobago on the last playoff match. They were dispatched in the first round of the World Cup being outscored 8 goals to 2 without collecting a point. In 1994, when they organized the tournament, they barely sneaked in the second round thanks to an own goal by a Colombian defender, you might remember, and a tie against Switzerland before losing to Brazil, respectively, 1-0. It took many more years and many more tournaments to watch the American men's team grow and become a threat to its opponents. In this regard, what I would like to see from Canada's participation at the 2022 World Cup is avoiding the mistakes that followed the 1986 World Cup. This means continuing to invest, learn and develop for the 2026 World Cup, we shall co-organize, but also beyond that event for future generations. Then, Canada could hope to establish itself as a legitimate football country with regular participations at the World Cup and improved performances, not only a one-off to show for as in 1986. The situation is, of course, different from 1986. We now have 3 Canadian teams in the Major League Soccer. There is a new domestic soccer league as well, the Canadian Premier League. Some players are shining in reputable teams and leagues internationally. The structure at the grassroots level appears to be better than before. There are football academies across Canada. Money is being invested at the amateur and professional levels, etc. In 1986, only a few players were evolving in Europe, while the rest of the squad had to play indoor soccer or did not play at all, following the demise of the North American Soccer League in 1984, a league which was comprised throughout the years of clubs such as the New York Cosmos, Chicago Sting, Montreal Manic, Toronto Blizzard, Vancouver Whitecaps, Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and Los Angeles Aztecs. In conclusion, and to cut a long story short, we have obviously remade some of the ground we had lost over the last 3 decades. Let's believe, but with our feet firmly grounded on the football pitch. And let's enjoy the ride. After all, this is our first World Cup in 36 years. This was Professor André Richelieu with the Sportainment News series. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Go Canada, go! And until next time, so long.